speak low when you speak low. Our summer day withers away. Welcome to my home. My name is Gary Nassif, and it's a pleasure for me to have you. Welcome. Well, you made it inside, and welcome. This is my celebrity wall, and a lot of my movie star friends are here, and they're all wonderful people, and they're mementos that I treasure, and people I treasure. So have a look, and I'm so glad you're here. Day by day, I'm falling more in love with you. Day by day, my love seems to grow. There isn't any end to my devotion. It's deeper, dear, by far than any ocean. I find that day by day, you're making all my dreams come true. So come what may. Hi. I want you to come on. My living room. This is my chaise lounge that I had. It's a custom, and it's probably the nicest piece of furniture I have, next to the sofa. And that's Mom. I did this for Mom while she was living, and she liked it. It's in pastel, French pastel, and I'm a portrait artist. So if anyone out there would love to have your portrait done, let me know, and we'll talk about it. Here's a photograph of Danny Thomas with Mom right after the dedication of the Jeremiah children to the hospital. And Danny was very wonderful to me. He gave me my legacy at the hospital. This is a picture of Cesar Romero, the famous movie star, with Sybil Brand and my mother, and I superimposed it over a painting of mine, and I've done a lot of those for people, and it's fun. This is the Christ statue that I created in steel, copper, and brass for a hospital. This is the model, and it will be created in heroic form, welcoming people to the hospital. Look above, you'll see the original painting, oil painting of Infinite Dreams. And this is the original, and I create giclées from this, and I market them in doctor's offices, and they have them in their waiting rooms, and their patients look at it and they feel peace and tranquility before they go into the examining room. So it's very medicinal, and it's a therapy, almost a therapy for people who want to sit and think about their dreams. And so anyway, that's the Infinite Dream. Look at this wall. This is a giclée of my original. My original is down there, but it was created for the movie Colony, and it's called Quiet on the Set. And it's called Matinee Idol, and he's a wonderful piece. He's 30 inches wide by 40 inches long, and he's going to be soon on a film magazine cover. Just above is the giclée of my rocker, and I've written a movie for him, and he is a protector of children and animals throughout the world. And I'm very proud of him. He's so full of goodness, and he travels with a very wonderful uh, uh, group of characters. My friend Esther Williams is over there, and she was a big movie star with the MGM splashy movies of the 40s and 50s. And she kept telling me, Gary, never stop singing. And I loved her. And Rhonda Fleming is over here, and she's right there. She wrote 2 wonderful letters about my book. She read my book, and she loved it. And very proud of those letters and of her and her friendship. Now, right above is the she is the female counterpart of the rocker. Her name is Princess Alexandria, and she's done in pastel and spray paint. And people like her very, very much. And the rocker was done in pastel and spray paint. Mr. Blackwell, when I took the original over to his home, he said, Gary, this is a masterpiece. What are you going to do with him? Well, 21 years later, I still didn't know, but now I do. Now I've got the story, and it's going to be a feature-length movie. My mother's mother. Her name was Mary Stevens Ferris, and she was a dear, dear, dear lady, and she believed in me. And right after I did my demo of my singing, she came out, and I put her in the car, and we went up and down the strip, and she said, she's so smart, and she never went to school. She said, I love your singing, but you know, you could sing in these beautiful hotels and make a lot of money. And I thought, how inventive of you, Grandma. I called her Sithy. And so I did. I became a featured singer at the MGM Grand for 2 years. It was only supposed to be one night only. But that one night turned into 2 years. And then I went off to Hollywood. Let me tell you a little bit about my dining room. My dining room table is a replica of George Washington's table he had designed for Martha Washington. And the grains in it are absolutely gorgeous. And I flipped when I saw this, and it is a custom piece for me, and I'm very proud of it. But I'm also very proud of this chandelier. And I bought this for my mother from Italy, and these beautiful hand-cut crystals are from Austria. And the chandelier is gold leaf, and it was created in Italy. And I'm very, very proud of it. Mom loved it for years. So that's my chandelier. Discuss the ceiling. You know, Michelangelo put his great works on walls, but I ran out of wall space, so I put my originals on the ceiling. So let's start here. This is one that I created. It's called Archangels of God, and you can see the archangels there, and it has an inscription. But people buy this because it's very inspirational to spirituality. This I created for an insurance company for the exterior, but we decided to do something else. So I donated this in giclée form with its counterpart to the Wendell Johnson Speech and Hearing Clinic at the University of Iowa. And the other one is over there. And so they are on a wall, a major wall, and they have framed a page out of my book where I talk about working with Dr. Johnson years ago when I had my stuttering problem. Now, I want you to see this one. This is all hope-filled text, and people buy this because they want to remember that their dreams can come true. And they can be Muslim, they can be Christian, they can be Jewish, they can be anything. But we're all individuals, and people do love to buy this. And see, it says, I can be anything I want to be in this world, and so can you. The next one is, come on over here. This is the first, this is my CD cover, where I recorded with the great Vinnie Falcone and Steve Haberman and Bob Sachs and Santos Savino. And those guys really set me up. They're world-class musicians, and Vinnie got them for me, and he honored me with these wonderful musicians. Steve Haberman was my Hollywood musical director, did a lot of wonderful work, and so I recorded this up in Washington with him. The next one, this one I created for a plastic surgeon, a famous plastic surgeon. And he said, Gary, I don't know what I want, but I think you know what I should have. So I created this, and it's very symbolic of his reconstruction of plastic surgery. Stop. Hi. We're going to go on to another giclée that I created. Come on, come on. This is my mother in the fig orchard up in Fresno, and we had a wonderful time. So I created this, and if anybody out there wants to have some text associated with a photograph of their mother for a giclée, and to have an inscription that relates to your mother, that would be wonderful for you to order and talk to me about. Okay? So this is called Our Lady Was a Queen. And she was. Well, here we are again. Remember the Christ statue that I showed you a little earlier? This is the blow-up of the face. And this was created from a miracle with the Holy Spirit. So you see, there's a lot you can see in him. He's not traditional. He's very technical, and he's very geometric, and that's what the Catholic nun wanted for the hospital. But look at his face. Does it tell you forgiveness? Does he convey love? Does he convey the beautiful things that Christ is? I think so. But it was not me. It was the Holy Spirit who worked through me. Here we are again. Okay, this one is very interesting. When I was working for NBC, I met an art director who became my wonderful friend, And he was very wealthy, and he bought this marvelous mansion that is in Hollywood, way on top of a mountain. And he said, "Here's the key to my house." He said, "I'm gone all day long. Come and use the pool. Bring your girlfriend. Do whatever you want." So this is what I thought I was going to use for my CD, but I changed my mind. My girlfriend didn't want me to use it. So it hangs in my gallery. Okay? The next one. Now this is important. If anybody has graduated from a college or university or other high education facility, please consider this. These two you can buy, and they will not be framed, but they tell a story, and you can donate them to your college or university. And that's a wonderful thing to do. So you see, that's what I did at the University of Iowa. And you wouldn't believe the dedication ceremony they gave me in the, oh, it was just wonderful. The professors came, the students came, and I got a beautiful letter from the president of the University of Iowa. So I'm very gifted. Okay. Hello, welcome. This is my guest bedroom, and my family comes here once in a while. Friends come here. It's fun. My grandmother, when she was, let me tell you about this. My grandmother made this with her two hands before I was born, and it matches with this other wall hanging, and I didn't know what to do with it, so I thought I would create a wall hanging, and it's just perfect. And so anyway, this is my guest room, and here's Matinee Idol again, and he's a winner. He really is. He really is, and I am very happy. That's my mom. And she always liked the peonies that were growing outside of her beautiful home. Anyway, come and be my guest. Love to have you. What are you doing in my room? You're not supposed to be. Yes, you are. Come on. I want you to see. This is a sculpture that Michelangelo created of David, the fabulous David, which is in Florence. And I've always loved it because there's so much symbolism, and I'm an art teacher and a designer and sculptor. So I see things that the average person doesn't. So I lecture on him and other Michelangelo works. But the Michelangelo sculpture of David that I first saw was at Los Angeles at Forest Lawn. Mom and Dad took me to Hollywood, and we went to see it, and we posed right next to this statue, and that was the proudest time of my life because I had my parents all to myself, and we had a lot of fun. So anyway, this is the David, and he's magnificent. So you're still here? That's fine. I love it. Welcome. This heroic statue of the dying slave is also by Michelangelo, and it is in the Louvre Museum, and I can't wait to go and see it live. It's incredible. So this is him. Imagine Carrara marble, and if Michelangelo made one nick too deep or too light, he'd ruin it. That's what a master he he was a total master. So I'm thrilled. And by the way, my greatest sculpture um, is in St. Jude Children's Research Hospital in Memphis, Tennessee. And I thank Danny Thomas for my legacy there. And it's in the Heritage Building. So if you go to St. Jude in Memphis, be sure and see my Jeremiah children who are my bronze of hope, who is my bronze of hope. Thanks, Danny. I love Danny Thomas. He was so good to me and such a wonderful friend. And he believed in me, and he said some wonderful things about me. And I thank him. And oh, you saw the rocker earlier. The rocker, when the film is circulated throughout the world and the profits come in, St. Jude will have part of those profits from me, from my work. Again, now we're going to go into Gary's bathroom. Come on. This image is going on a perfume bottle for ladies, and it will have my name on it, and I'm very excited about that. And that was a few years ago, but not that many. A few pounds ago, yes. Anyway, nice to have you here with me. Thank you so much. Oh, I wanted you to see Mom. This is a photograph of my mother. She took us on a vacation at Tantera, and she got bitten by a bee, and so we got her ice, and we had to heal her. We had a lot of fun with Mom that summer. Anyway, well, you took a tour of my house. Thank you very much. And now I'd like to get a little bit serious and talk about my book. My book, it took 10 years to write, and I had to relive my life, but it was exciting. And I learned a lot, believe me. I discovered a lot about my father. My father was very tough on me, and I didn't know why, and I couldn't understand it, but he was tough for a reason, and he wanted me to be the best I could be, but I didn't know that's why he was being so tough. And it frustrated me into becoming a stutterer. I became a very severe stutterer. That's why I went to the University of Iowa to see if they could help me. So anyway, the story is about how my life began and how it took its paces in getting well and becoming something wonderful in my life. I worked very hard on my stuttering, my confidence really, and it was very important that I was fluent. I couldn't ask girls to go on dates or to go dancing because I was a stutterer, but I could learn how to dance, and I became a very good dancer. So the girls lined up, and one by one I danced with them, and I had a lot of fun. But I met a lot of wonderful movie stars along the way who encouraged me, and I'll never forget them. They're all in my book. My book is chapter by chapter that leads you to never wanting to put the book down. One bishop friend of mine read my book and he said, "Gary, your book is phenomenal." And he went on and on and on. And I guess it is because I give it my heart and soul. And I invited the Holy Spirit to guide me into creating it His way, not my way. But now I'm doing motivational speaking, and I speak for conventions and for all kinds of organizations. And people are really lifted, and they're buying my book and they're buying my CD. Let me tell you about my CD. I was discovered by Al Viola, and Al Viola played guitar for Frank Sinatra for 25 years, and he was absolutely magnificent. He heard me once, and he applauded 2 songs. Then he went out to the car, and I didn't know why he went there, but he came back with his guitar case. I said, Mr. Viola, you said that you couldn't work with new singers. He said, I know what I said, but I've heard you, and I know that you're going to be a big star someday. I just want to be with you when it happens. That was Al Viola. And then about 15 years later, I was discovered by the great Vincent Falcone. And Vincent has become my mentor, and he plays piano on my CD. He's magnificent. And so I've written a movie of a week for him, and a major international movie star. I can't tell you her name, but I'll be in it too, and it's a wonderful story. It's a story that was written with heart and soul. So anyway, where am I? Here. So, welcome to my CD. My CD is called Sing, Romance Man, Sing. And you can get it at Amazon. Sing, Romance Man, Sing. And Vincent plays piano. Steve Haberman plays piano, and but not at the same time, of course. But Vinny got me 2 world-class musicians, and they are Bob Sachs, who played bass, and Santo Savino, who played drums. And he said, Gary, these men are world-class. I said, wow, am I lucky? So the 3 of us cut 2 songs, and when Vinny and I listened to them, to the whole album, I said to him quizzically, I said, gee, Vinny, you sound so wonderful. It's too bad you couldn't have done more songs. He looked at me and he said, Gary, I would have played the whole album for you if you had asked me. But you know, when you don't ask, you don't get. And but I'm thankful for the 2. I want to thank you all for coming to my home to visit. You're welcome anytime. This is my gallery. Call me up. Make an appointment. Come over, and we'll have fun. And you can look at my artwork and dream your dreams. So, welcome and welcome again. I'd like to thank Nick Blaze for his wonderful professional qualities. He's done a marvelous job today, and he always does. And so he's welcomed into my home, and I'm very proud of him. And thank you, Nick. Day by day, I'm falling more in love with you. Day by day, my love seems to grow. There isn't any end to my devotion. It's deeper, dear, by far than any ocean. I find that day by day you make it all.